It's Wednesday evening. It's midweek, which means it's midweek through the whole fair week. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update about me obviously DJing at the whole fair. So let me just have a drink because I feel really thirsty. I know. I probably shouldn't down. I probably shouldn't down coke like that, but it's all that was next to me for a drink. So yeah, so the whole fair has been absolutely amazing. I've really enjoyed it every minute of the opportunity of DJing at the whole fair, and it's been a shed load of fun to do so, and it's just been a real enjoyment to be a part of the event in a little bit more than just going and going on some rides and buying some food. As a matter of fact, I've not been on one ride, but I think on Friday, I'm gonna maybe attempt just to maybe go on a couple of rides and just see a little bit more of the event rather than just staying at the Walzers all the time. But nevertheless, it's still been a shed load of fun. Obviously, DJing at the Walzers, and it will still continue for possibly another couple of days for me. So I won't be there tomorrow because I've got my Goodwin studio session, which that still has to run. And by the time I finish there, there'd just be no point going over to the fair for the sake of by the time I get there, there'd be about probably an hour left, and then they'd be shutting the fair. And like I said, there just probably wouldn't be there just probably wouldn't be any point in doing that. So Friday, I will probably make a return to the fair itself, and then possibly Saturday, depending what's going on. But I've been there a good few times, and I'm happy. I've enjoyed myself, and like I say, I think Friday I'll go there and do a bit of DJing, obviously, but I'm going to try and aim to maybe go a bit more around the fair and look at some of the other stuff and maybe have a go. I mean, I'll have a ride on the waltzers rather than DJing them as well, and I'll maybe go on a. I don't like the real big rides. Like I've never liked to like real big fast rides. Like years ago, I wouldn't have even dared like go on a waltzers or a twister. And I came to be all right with them. And then them cliffhanger rides, the Miami Fevers, I come to be all right with them. But I never used to like them either. But any like because of my eyesight, like any rides that like just go like too high up in the air and flip you upside down and stuff like that are just not really for me. And probably like if I went on a couple of them and I got used to them, yeah, I would probably like them. But I'm very sort of like trying things for the first time is not always like a good thing for me when I know that they look quite scary. And when I know that I'm something I don't feel like I'm keen on, like trying sort of like something food wise for the first time. I'm not always keen on that, especially if it's got something healthy in it, because when it comes to being healthy, that is not my strong point. So, what can I say? So, I can't even handle the waltzes as I've gotten older. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. A lot of people can't. But like I say all week, like when I've been when I've been this week, I've just been DJing them. I wasn't there yesterday, but I was there on Saturday and Monday, and I've been there today. So, I've just been DJing them. I've not, I haven't actually gone on them, and it's just quite crazy. But when you're inside the waltzers itself and you're watching them go around, they don't actually look like they're going as fast as they actually are. Like the actual, because you've got the little black sort of like bit that spins around, and you've got the carts on top of them. the actual black thing itself doesn't even look like it spins that fast, and then it actually looks like it's more the carts that spin like more than that. It's like a really crazy thing. It's just absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was really weird. Like it just doesn't look like it goes as fast when you're actually in there. But then when you look at it from the outside, or when you sit in the cart and you're going round it yourself, you really feel like you're actually going really fast, and it's really weird. But yeah, so we sort of did the aftermath of the Saturday night, which was a really fun vibe. And Monday night was again, it was just more good vibes. So I was at Music Lab first, so I obviously couldn't get there till later on. So I got there about, I think I got there probably about 8:30, sort of maybe 8:15 or something like that. And my friend Nathan was on at the time, and he said, "Look, I've got to shoot off round 9." So there was another guy called Jack, so he said, you two just stay and carry on. Um, so me and Jack carried on for a little bit, and then Jack had to shoot off, and then I stayed till close, and I just spun some hardcore, and really enjoyed it. Just spun some like classic HTID stuff, and Breeze and Styles, Dougal and Gamma, just went full on. Loads of nice vocals, um, just loads of good tunes. Ow, there's something. It's since I've had this tooth out. It feels like since I've had the tooth out, feels like my mouth is like worse than it was before the tooth even came out. Like nearly a week on, and I'm still getting pain. Like I'm still getting a slight pain when I eat, and I've still got like just like a slight pain there now. It's annoying. But yeah, so Monday I went through with loads of like classic hardcore, from sort of like the sort of mid to late noughties, early noughties as well. Just played some absolute belters in that sense, and like I say, I stayed there till close, and then yesterday I had the Gig Buddies event, which I'll touch up on that as well, because that was enjoyable. Not as enjoyable as I wanted it to be, but it was still enjoyable. But I had a little bit of an awkward experience, which was just a little bit annoying. Which wasn't to do with Gig Buddies, by the way. That wasn't like, it was nothing upon their fault. It was just essentially I had a taxi pre-booked to take me home last night, and the taxi driver didn't wait for me, and it was a real pain. And so I went to the Gig Buddies gig, and I took my RX because I was obviously DJing, and my RX, it comes with like a flight case, and when you put it in the flight case, is proper heavy. It's like a mega heavy thing that like even like people have gone like, oh come on, it's not that heavy, and then they've carried it and they've gone, fucking hell, it actually is heavy. um, and the place where the gig is, it's on like a pedestrianised area, so it's like all footpath. There's no road, and cars aren't allowed to go down. So taxis can only drop you off and pick you up so far. And I obviously pre-booked on the phone, and I told them where I'm going, and I pre-booked one to come back. And the woman on the phone said, "Should we pick you? Is it all right if he picks you up outside the Empress?" As that's obviously like the closest he can park, and the Empress is a pub. So I was like, yeah, all right then, just park there, it's close and that. So the taxi driver, obviously not realising I was down the pedestrianised area, must have thought, oh, I'm in the Empress, having a few beers or something, and then like, he rang me up and he said, hello, taxi's outside. And I said, all right, just give me a couple of minutes. I'm just packing some music gear down. And I think anyway, he must have still thought I was in the Empress and thought, oh, I'm just gonna come out the Empress in a couple of minutes. So I'm there like coming out and walking up this pedestrianised area, carrying the flight case, and it's proper heavy. And I get all the way to the top of the road, and I'm coming round the corner with this big case, and I can see the taxi driver driving, like he drives off, and he just drives off, and then I get a text like a couple of minutes later saying your taxi driver was unable to locate you. Thank you for using whole cars or whatever. Um, you know, um, which was just absolutely it was annoying. So I had to ring Dave, who sort of like runs the event. He'd already offered me a lift, and I said no, it's all right, don't worry, I've got a taxi. I had to ring him back and say, look, are you still there? Because my taxi's just drove off. But luckily he's real nice, like don't mind giving you a lift kind of thing. So that was obviously all good. So essentially, he gave me a lift in the end and gave me a lift home, and he also helped me carry the flight case, which even he said it was heavy. But they don't design them that well. Like they should put them on wheels or something. You probably can get like flight cases that probably do go on wheels, but like it really is heavy. I'm really dreading it. Like the next time I have to move it, which is actually I'm gonna have to move it again next week, and I'm absolutely dreading it. Like it's even heavier sometimes. Like when you're lifting like a worktop unit up and you're lifting it between two people. Like it's even more awkward than doing that. Like that's how awkward that flight case is. Um, you know. And I remember a while just when I'd first got the decks and I took them to my nan's, and I didn't take them in the flight case because I thought it'd be too heavy in that flight case when I was going all the way to the station. And after yesterday's task, I was so glad that I didn't put them in the flight case that day. So that was kind of the sort of like the downside of the night, if you like. Just I had that awkward time with but like if the taxi had just hung on, like I was literally just coming up the road carrying it, and I would have been there. And it was just absolutely, it was crazy. But it all got sorted in the end, which was obviously the good thing. So the actual gig side of things there went really well. So there was two other DJs beside me, Ali and Alex and Gary, and they did sort of like the first half of the night. So the night was broke up into like three sections. So there was the first two DJs, then there was the open mic section, because Gig Buddies, it always has an open mic, and that's like a big part of their event, so they couldn't like get rid of the open mic, if that makes sense. Like that still has to be a thing, or like people would get disappointed. And like we can't change the format of the event around too much, because it's what people are used to with that event. And some of it is a lot of the reason why people come for the open mic, because they've got that opportunity there and they like it. So the open mic went on a little bit longer than it was supposed to go on for. There was a few more people opted to put names down. I don't know if that was just because they aren't keen on DJs as such, and they just thought we want more like open mic stuff than DJs. But it went on a little bit longer, and then I was on like a mission to cram some absolute bangers into the next set. Into my set, just loads of quick mixing, dropping loads of bangers. I know every mix wasn't perfect, but the idea and the tunes were there, and people seemed to enjoy it, and people was like, oh, you smashed that, and stuff like that. I wanted to do a bit more like go on the mic and stuff, and like, yeah, let's pretend we're in Ibiza, and just make it a little bit more fun. But was kind of like sort of like rush for time, and then I was kind of like trying to do that much quick mixing that I just didn't get the chance to really be a bit more laid back which hopefully I'll get to do something like that again in the future, and be a bit more laid back about it maybe, which could be a cool thing. So yeah, and then today we was back at the Hull Fair, so that was an absolute blast. So today at the Hull Fair, it was just me that ran the whole night. So there was nobody else from Hull that had come to DJ on the Walzers, and I don't know why, but there was no one there. I at least thought there'd be like one person there or two people there, because there normally is. There's normally at least somebody there, and just essentially there was no one there, and the whole place was just him, was just the guy who owns the ride playing CDs. Um, so I had this like opted night, but I knew it was going to be a quiet night anyway. I knew that there wasn't like a load of like planned DJs to be there on the Wednesday night. So I took it to my own advantage to get some DJs down myself, and I asked a few DJs from the Doncaster way on to come and like play on the Waltzers, um, and a few people have been saying like, oh, they'd love to get that opportunity to do it, and they'd love to have the opportunity to come and play on the Waltzers. And I said, you know what? I think Wednesday is going to be like sort of a quietish night on the DJs front. So come down and bring a USB stick, and we'll get you on for a little bit, and you can spin some tunes and stuff. And so I did. So I got a DJ Tyndall. I got Resolution down. Resolution was like proper, like it was an experience, and he's wanted to do it for a while. So I got him down and proper, like, but proper made him buzz that he got the chance to do it. And then I gave Tyndall the experience of having a go as well, which they seem to enjoy it. And then Resolution brought a friend who's just getting into DJing and has never played in front of a crowd before, never played in front of an audience, and was quite nervous. But we gave him the opportunity, and we let him go on, and we let him just have. We just let him have, sort of 10-20 minutes just on the decks, just having a little go for the first time. And for me, that's what it's all about. Me right there, just stood there, and he was in that booth, and he was getting that first opportunity, and he was having that first ever moment of playing out, in his first, sort of ever gig, if you like, that had been offered to him, was that chance to obviously play on the Waltzers. And for me, that's what it's all about. You can have the same people do it year in, year out. And like, even for me, I've done it quite a few times now, so I took a bit more of a step back tonight, and I just let other people jump on and have a go, who wouldn't normally get the chance to jump on and have a go. And where other fairs do they let people go on the ride and do DJing? Like, apart from all fair, there probably is other fairs that do it. Don't get me wrong, but like, I've never seen or heard of it. So it was like one of them where I just thought, you know what, it's a buzz to let other people have a go that haven't already had a go, or have like never witnessed it before, because the chances are, like, us lot, we can do it next year, and we can probably do it the year after, or like, if we don't get as much chance to have a go today, we could probably go back and do it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I just kind of feel like, it changes it up a bit, and it's just nice to let people. It's nice to let people have a go, and it's nice to let people have that opportunity as well, because how do people get on to do stuff like this if there isn't the opportunities there for them? Like, and no one, and this is no disrespect to anybody else, but no one else is going to ask them. Like, there's loads of people that have posted on Facebook, like, they'd love the opportunity and the experience, and and there's people, no offences, that won't give up their slots to let other people have a go. And I just think, like, you can do this every year, and you've done it previous years. For the sake of a couple of hours, let somebody else just jump on when you can probably come back and go on the next day. So it was like a real buzz, that we got these other people to come on, and we got these other people to have a spin, and there was buzzed off it, and they really enjoyed it. And like, that guy who's never played in front of an audience before, he got that first, he was nervous, but he got that first chance. And I'll be 100% honest, he absolutely smashed it. His mixing was tight. His mixing was on point, so he's learnt his beat matching. He can throw a good set together. He just needed to get out there in front of a crowd, and now he's done it. And he's done it at, I'd say, probably a really good starting point for a warm up gig, because there's a crowd there, but the crowd necessarily hasn't got all eyes on you, because they're more just in their own zone of just enjoying the music, but enjoying the fact of going on a ride, and queuing and thinking of 101 other things, that they're not necessarily listening to how well a DJ is going to perform, because it's not really, you don't, when you think of like fairs, you don't think of DJing as such, you think of banging music. Whereas you go to a nightclub, you are sort of more going to listen to a, say, DJ play, where you are going to sort of listen out more for, how good is this guy? Is he gonna bring a good set? Whereas at the fair, it's just, if someone's pumping and you're going round on a ride, you're enjoying it and you're happy. So it was a good chance for him to play to an audience, but it wasn't almost like you were being watched by an audience, if that makes sense. So it was, to me, I think it was a really good starting gig for him. And I'm just, he's even texted me to say thank you for putting him on, and he was obviously buzzed. And it was just, it was really good to see. So that was obviously, a buzz in itself. So we had a really good night, and it was kind of just like I guess it was a bounce takeover, because they obviously, most of all of the DJs, they did play bounce, so we bounced it up a bit. And then I think the bounce did get a bit sort of like repetitive in the end, so it changed over to a trance CD, and then and it sort of quietened down a bit, so I felt a bit like, I feel a bit tired, so I'm going to call it a night myself. And there was only about just over an hour left anyway, about an hour and 15 minutes or something, and just put the trance CD on, and we'd had a good few hours go itself, and we definitely caught, I'd say, what would have been like the main points of the night, where the most people would have been coming on the ride, and it was getting to that point where a lot of kids would have been going home now for school the next day, and a lot of people just sort of making the way and leaving the fair, and just a couple of older ones who still want to stay a bit, just sort of staying along, but nothing, nothing to really go about. So I just thought, yeah, let's just call it a day. Let's just we'd had a good vibe, and we'd had a good run, and I had a really enjoyable night, and stuff like that. And like I say, it was really good to have them different people coming and playing on. So I played some bounce, obviously, and I played some of my own stuff, and played some belting stuff from other people as well, which was obviously a really buzz in itself. And yeah, I just loved it, just absolutely loved it. So so like I say, I think I'm gonna go back on Friday, spin some tunes hopefully, and like I say, I think I'm gonna have a little bit more of a like mooch around the fair as well, and stuff like that. Like I've had a brief walk around, like going to the toilet, and for the first time today as well, I actually got a bit of food at the fair as well. Kind of regretted it, just because like it was a bit weird, like, because it kind of filled me up, but it didn't, if you know what I mean. So like I went to the toilet, and I had a bit of change on me, and I just felt a bit peckish. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna grab myself a burger. And don't get me wrong, the burger was nice. It was tasty. There was nothing wrong with the burger. It tasted all good, but it kind of like it didn't fill me up, but it kind of filled me up a little bit. So I still felt hungry. So I got something out. I got something from a takeaway when I left the fair, and like I got something else, and I got sat at home, and I hadn't eaten much of it, and then I got full, and I kind of thought like I would have eaten more of this if I hadn't have had the burger. In all honesty, I should have either have not had the burger, or I should have just got something smaller, like from the takeaway itself. Um, but in all fairness, the reason why I wasn't at first, I wasn't like totally decided like I'm gonna get a takeaway. Um, I was actually going to go into a shop and buy a drink, and then I noticed that the takeaway next to the shop, for it was the first takeaway I've seen in Hull, like kebab shop that has one of them like order machines, like in McDonald's, where you tap on the touch screen to order. And I thought like, whoa, this is new. Like, because you see them in places like Leicester and stuff, and like Manchester, and probably like Leeds and stuff, but you don't see them in Hull. Like, we've just got like the normal sort of like kebab shops where you order at the counter. So this was like somewhat quite different to order at the machine. And part of me was just sort of having a nosy on the machine and just to see what it was like. And it was really good. You could order like doner meat and chips and things, and which is what I ordered. But you could like select whether you wanted the salad on it or not on the machine, and you could select like what sauce you wanted on it, and then like a little receipt printed out, and they made your order, and it was quite a doody little thing. So it was more just I wanted to try the machine, but I felt peckish, but I didn't want like I've had cheesy chips quite a lot lately, so I just thought I don't fancy that. So I just sort of decided that doner meat and chips will do. I wasn't gonna have a burger because I just had one, and then I just thought doner meat and chips will do. And like I said, I got home and I started eating it, and then I just thought, you know what, like I can't eat all this, and now I kind of think like I wish I hadn't bought it, but I'll warm it up and eat it more than likely. Um, you know. But yeah, good vibes at the fair. And then as for Saturday, I'm not sure what I'll be doing Saturday, like, because I've been quite a few times now, so I might just give the Saturday a wide berth, and just go back one more time on the Friday, maybe have a little bit of a mooch round the fair, and just because I've had this is the third day now that I've done some DJing there, so I'm quite happy with that, to be fair. And both times, all three times I've had quite a good decent go, so like I've been quite happy in that sense, and um, you know I've enjoyed like the time that I've had there, and it's been an experience definitely, and roll on next year. Oh, I am so thirsty. But yeah, like roll on next year, definitely in that sense. Um, well, I say roll on next year. I mean, I don't like to talk like I don't like to talk on positive, but like a lot can happen in a year. You don't know where you'll be or what you'll be doing in a year. You can't always say for certain, can you? You can't always say for certain what you'll be doing in 2 weeks, but if you always thought like that, you'd live a very depressing life because like sometimes like it's always good to sort of like recognize and realize that things can go wrong, but if you just think all the time about things going wrong, like you will just obviously you'll just deteriorate. Like it's good to think of positives, but as long as you can understand that like things don't always aren't always so positive. Like we wrote the song The Good Life, like you know and the aim of the song is that every day is the good life, and obviously the reality of life is that every day isn't the good life, and stuff like that. But that's just obviously that's just a positive song, to lift people's spirits up. But like it's all right, like living the good life, but as long as you accept that every day isn't a good day, without sort of thinking every day as like a downer, then you know you you're all good. But like I say, all being well, we'll be back there next year, and we'll be spinning some absolute tunes. I've had another gig coming, by the way, as well, but we're just waiting for the flyer to be finalised, and it's another MCing gig. The MC ones, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy. I love the MC and I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but it does kind of feel like I can't escape it. Like because I do like on a like 100% on like a 100% level. Like I do prefer the DJing. Like I do prefer DJing to MCing. Like I prefer that now. I prefer like producing and DJing. I still like MCing, but I prefer the DJing. But it's just like that. What I used to do as an MC. Like it's like I can't get rid of it. It's like I can't shake it off. Like it's like I can be DJ Ash Noble or Mad Ash, and I can produce bangers and it can get released and signed on labels, but everyone will still say it's MC Noble. And I like it to an extent, but I kind of like to think like it's somewhat like it's somewhat my past and not my future. And then I feel like I want to focus more on the DJing, and then like some user or some account puts like Scarborough Beach on TikTok, and it blows up and it gets like loads of hits, gets like loads of likes, comments, and reshares and retweets and reposts, and then um, and then just like all of a sudden like, oh, do you want to MC at this event? Like which I like MCing at events. I wouldn't want to turn them down, but like I do definitely prefer it when like the DJ gigs come in. But there's an MC gig. It's right near Christmas. It's a December one. It's right near Christmas. It's It's the 23rd of December, so it's like it's like 2 days before Christmas. So I think Christmas Day is on the Monday, and then I think the gig is on the Saturday. So like I'll have the gig on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday it will literally be Christmas Eve, and then literally Christmas Day, which is kind of weird. And then I don't know like if anything like Boxing Day will come in or like anything for New Year. I had a Boxing Day gig last year and it got cancelled at the last minute because I don't know, there was something weird about the venue or something. Something to do with a sound guy, and then apparently the venue decided they was going to charge them more at the last minute because it was Boxing Day or something. Which was kind of crazy. And then it was just like, oh, like that's kind of happening. So I don't know what's going to happen this year. I don't know if there's going to be anything regarding a booking. Who knows if something comes in? Something comes in. I know there's like usually an event on a Boxing Day that I do tend to go to, and I did go to it last year, and I did go to it the year before as well. They do normally put a Boxing Day rave on. So whether they do, I think they might have maybe already got one like planned, but they just maybe haven't released a lineup yet. But I normally go to them anyway. On Boxing Day, usually normally go with the layman. So I might do that, but it all just depends. I suppose what I'm doing, what I do on the Christmas Day as well. I've got no, when like the year's just gone so quick, and like I don't want to think about Christmas, but the reality of it is like it's not all that far away. And when it comes to arranging like where you're gonna go and what you're gonna do, it's good to kind of like have that in place so you know what you're doing. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to think about Christmas just yet. Like we haven't even had Halloween yet. We hadn't even had bonfire night, which is crazy. But when you work in a workplace like mine, you've kind of got to start thinking about Christmas because we put like Christmas work parties on, and we're already thinking like we're gonna do a Christmas work party. And we've got to start thinking about organising that. So we have to kind of get our Christmas heads on, which is obviously crazy. Um, Obviously crazy to think about in that sense, which is crazy. So another thing that's crazy as well. So obviously I had my gig buddies gig yesterday, and that marked a year of me going to gig buddies. That marked a year of me going to the gig buddies nights, which was crazy. They've become like a second family to me, and I absolutely love them to pieces. You know. Got massive love for them and love obviously being a part of things they're doing and stuff. And I was also thinking today as well that I've officially been I've officially been at Goodwin for 2 years. So I know you're probably thinking like I thought you'd only been in your job just over a year, but before I had my job with Goodwin, I was going to Goodwin Development Trust to get support to getting back into work, because they run a class called disability, and they sort of like build you up and help you with skills and help you sort of getting back into work. And it was sort of like, oh, there's actually a job going at our place that might be right up your street, music related. um, so that's kind of how the whole job sort of came about. But before then, I'd been with Goodwin about a year, sort of like going to these like support classes, and you do like different stages. So there was like level one, which I think was like the core, and then there was like level two, which was you kind of like it worked a little bit more upon like what you physically like want to do. So like the core was kind of like right, let's start, sort of showing you sort of like the basics of like building confidence and like motivation and different things to getting back into work. And then like level two was kind of more like right, you know, what do you kind of want to do in like, what sort of job or what sort of role do you want to go into? And then the level three was kind of like, right, you've built up this confidence now, you've got a good idea of what you want to do. And we think it's about time that we start actually trying to get you into work itself. And then you attend things like job club, and then you attend things like just a bit more like one to ones and trying to like actually physically get a job itself. So I just started going on to level three when the job came about. So I was kind of like just sort of finishing on level two and just sort of moving up to level three, where I was obviously at that point I was getting close to sort of saying bye to Goodwin, and this is where you sort of start applying for jobs, and then you sort of got the confidence to do it yourself if you haven't obviously found a job within them. And then obviously the job came about, and I got into the job before obviously before my time at Goodwin ran out. And then it was just like my time at Goodwin kind of got extended, but I obviously began working there instead. And then obviously I've been at Goodwin in the job just over a year, which is like a crazy thing. It's to think that I've been there just over a year is crazy, like working. But to think that I've actually been going to Goodwin itself for 2 years, that is like obviously crazy. Like where has the time gone? So like this time 2 years ago, I was like it was very basic, and I was just very basic, just absolutely not really sure, like, what was going on. Just attend these sessions, kind of thing, and see where it goes. And Bob's your uncle. um, but yeah. So anyway, enough babbling for the stream. I'm absolutely shattered, to tell you the truth, and I'm back at work tomorrow, and yeah, it's all crazy. So yeah, so make sure to like, make sure to comment, share, all of that good stuff, and we'll see you soon. By the way, I know this place looks like an absolute bomb's hit it. It's just like there's loads of like packing going on at the moment, as you can obviously see. And I've like packed loads of stuff up, and now I've got like hardly anywhere to like move, or like even this chair now. I can't even, like, if I push it any further back, I'm like crashing into a box, and I'm kind of like, oh man, come on. Like it's crazy. But it's only temporary, to where you can't necessarily move around as freely. So yeah, make sure to like, make sure to comment, all of that good stuff, and we'll see you soon.